Hi, welcome back to the Code Street. This is Siddhant, and in today's video, I am very glad to start off officially with the data structures and algorithms course. So far, we have almost completely done the introduction and the fundamentals part of the C++ programming module. We have dealt with the basic concepts, we have dealt with very naive concepts like flowchart, mnemonics, and pseudocode, and introduction to the very first C++ hello world program that you can write, and loops, conditional statements, and comment lines. Like all these things have already been covered. And from today onwards, what we will officially do is that we will start off with the data structures and algorithms program. So the very first data structure that we will be discussing today is array. So what we will be doing is that we will expand this section of array over a time period of around 1 to 2 weeks or even 3 weeks also, because what we are trying to discuss when we are dealing with arrays or any other data structure is that we will try to cover each and every data structure from the very basics, that is starting off with the very concept of that theoretical concept of that data structure, what it actually means, why do we use it, where do we use it, how do we use it, and we will then go on to implement it by understanding how to declare it, initialize it, accept the values. Then we will try to solve some very simple levels and basic often repeated questions which will be asked in your maybe college and universities definitely, and in the interviews, some often repeated and basic questions. Then we will go to solving intermediate, difficult level, advanced level problems, contest problems, interview questions which are often asked. Then we will also go about learning how to optimize your solutions. Like there is a question and there are different ways of solving it, right? And these different ways actually involve different complexities in which a problem can be solved. For example, if someone has an idea of the time and space complexity, they will be knowing what I am talking about. Like a problem can be solved in O of n cube as well as O of n square and then O of n time as well. So how do we go about solving a problem in different time complexities? That is also something that we will be learning as well. Okay, so all these things do require time and they do require the due attention as well. After each video, I will be trying to give you a very due respective assignment as well, which you have to do it. You have to cover that assignment, otherwise it will be very difficult for me and as well as for you to follow up or to keep uh, in touch with the next video that will be coming after that particular video. So be very careful to do the assignment after that video is done, and try to rewind and understand any concept that I will be discussing in that video. Like if you do not understand anything in that video, please do mention in the comment section below. And lastly, do like, share and comment so that this video reaches a wider audience and we can win and learn together. Alright, so before starting off with the video, let us try and understand what actually Newton School is, in जिनके साथ ये वीडियो कोलैबोरेशन में बनी है, और हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं न्यूटन स्कूल है क्या. So Newton School is an Edtech platform which guarantees you 100% placement, and they're charging you 0 rupee fee until and unless you get placed with a minimum package of 5 lakh per annum. Now, Newton School is doing this in collaboration with a number of really great companies. Some of these companies can be easily found out on their platform, that is newtonschool.co. Newton School is also giving away a number of really great courses, starting off from full stack development courses to courses which are designed for women, to even the courses which are designed for working professionals, like who are looking to switch their jobs from one firm to another, and so on and so forth. In the recent times, what Newton School has done is that Newton School has started the Launchpad program, under which if you want to learn any specific tech stack like Node.js, React.js, or a programming language, or about data structures and algorithms, OOPS, databases, you can easily learn that completely for free. All you have to do is just browse through these courses, find out your favorite one, enroll yourself in these courses, and upon the completion of this course you will be getting a course completion certificate as well as the knowledge that you will be earning from it. All right, and yeah, that is it from this one. And all this, in the meanwhile, if you think like you have to do something related to coding or any coding related stuff, if you want to do, you can always hop on to Newton School's playground platform, wherein you can create your own playground and you can code in it, as we have done in the previous videos as well. So this is all about Newton School. Now coming back to today's video. तो आज की वीडियो में हमारी टॉपिक क्या है? What is the topic for today's video? We will be actually dealing with arrays. So array is today's topic. So basically, if we are talking about an array, what do we actually mean by this term array? So literally, if you see, array means a continuous or a continuous run, a continuous chain of events, that is known as an array. Of for example, if you say that an array of blue flowers in a garden, an array of blue flowers, blue colored flowers. So an array of blue orchids. So that is what an array means, a continuous chain. So if we define array in programming terms, we can say that an array is a combination of similar items. All right, there are few points that we have to note. That is, an array is the combination of similar items. Remember this, not different, similar items. Second thing that we have to note is that it is a continuous chain. All right. Third thing is that elements are stored in this chain. Elements are accessed via their indexes. Alright. तो एरे की डेफिनेशन क्या होती है, इसको समझने के लिए ये 4 पॉइंट हमें बेसिकली याद रखने ही पड़ेंगे. All we have to do is that we have to combine these 4 points and then we land up or end up with the definition of array. That array is a combination of similar items which are stored inside a contiguous chain. Contiguous मतलब continuous same ही चीज होती है, which are stored inside a contiguous chain and each element is accessed via their index position. Now what do we mean when we use all these 4 phrases या फिर all these 4 statements जब हम use करते हैं, तो उससे जो statement बन रही है उसका मतलब क्या होता है ना? तो उसका मतलब ये होता है, suppose that there is a memory chain, rather not a memory chain, I would say that there is a contiguous chain of elements. Okay, now I am storing numbers inside these. So numbers are a set of similar things, like I am storing numbers, right? So let me store 2, 6, 1, 3, 4, 9, 7. Now these are the numbers that I'm storing inside an array. Okay, this is an array of numbers. So some of the points that I have to note is that the first thing is that array की जो index होती है, the index of an array always begins from 0. Index always begins from 0. 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So what is the last index? 6. What is the first index? 0. Now if I am asking you how many elements are there in this video, how many elements are there in this array? Elements, that is always index plus 1. Understood? That is of course last index plus 1. और in other words we can also say कि index जब अपन count करते हैं तो index की जो count होती है that always begins from 1. So this can be called as index count. This can be called, sorry, I'm extremely sorry. This can be called as index count. and this on the other hand can be called as element count. All right, so this is it. So that is how we count the number of elements and the number of index inside an array. So array is basically a combination of similar elements, not different elements. Now, of course, this array can also be a different, like, what is an array of vowels? So an array of vowels is, of course, तो array जो होता है, array की syntax क्या होती है? That comes as a next question. What is the syntax of an array? So when we discuss the syntax of an array or basic type, how it is discussed or how it is declared, the syntax is data type, उसके बाद अपन लिखते हैं name, उसके बाद we use these brackets and write the size. This is how we declare an array. Alright, this is how we are supposed to declare an array. For example, data type, I have to write int, array का नाम number, int number. How many numbers do I want to store? I want to store 5 numbers. Alright, so this is how it is supposed to be done. Now, some of the basic things that I would like you to be conceptually clear about. Alright, so basically one of the few things that I would like for you to be clear about is that, see, when I declare, there are various ways of declaring an array. Okay, declaring elements inside an array and accepting the elements inside an array. For example, int number of 5 is my way of representing that there are 5 elements. All right, this is what I am declaring, that there are 5 elements. Or I can also do is, one thing which I can do is, I can do int n equals to 5 int number of n. Yet another way of declaring that there is an array of 5 elements. All right, now what is the default value that this array of 5 elements is storing? This array of 5 elements is actually storing a garbage value as default. समझ में आ रही है बात? By default, this array not this one. By default, this has a garbage value. Understood? Now, what is the proof that there is a garbage value? Let us create an algorithmic playground. Let me show you. So, see, int main, and what I do next is that int a of 5. There is an array of 5 elements, right? And what I do is I try to print this array. See, a garbage value, कुछ भी एक arbitrary सा garbage value will be printed here. See, the value which I am getting is a garbage value because that is what is stored inside, right? So by default, an array has a garbage value stored inside of it. All right, तो it becomes our duty कि हम इसको ऐसे declare कर दें, like this means that all the value are having 0. By default, the array has 0 element, and then you can definitely go on overwriting the values with your own prescribed value. So this is something that you should always do, and not just go on printing the array because it always has a garbage value initially. So this is something that you should be very clear about as well. So this was the basic syntax of declaring and data type, declaring of an array, how we should declare it. Now how we should accept the values inside an array. So there are various ways of doing it. One thing which I can do is that int a of 5 equals to, I can write 1 2 3 9 7. These are my 5 values. Alright. One thing which I can do is int a of blank. I am not sure how many elements I am about to enter into my array. However, I know later I make up my mind that okay, I am storing 5 elements. If I do like this 1 2 3 9 7, still there is no error in this. Alright. Next thing which I can do is that I can take a number input n. I can take int a of n, right? And then what I can do is for int I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Now this can of course be 1, and this can of course be less than equals to 1. Alright, because 0 till less than 5 means 0 1 2 3 4, 5 elements, and 1 till less than equals to 5 means 1 2 3 4 5, which is again 5 elements. So either of them can be used. And now what I can do is I can store the elements one by one. C in a of I. You know how the accepting of the elements goes. We have already discussed this in our introduction and problem solving videos. तो ऐसे करके भी हम elements को ले सकते हैं inside an array. So these are some of the ways in which we can declare and accept elements inside an array. Alright, so this is pretty important for you to understand. So going on to the next concept, which is what is the size of an array. So how do you know that, like no, the next thing that we have to understand is that what is the size of an array. Or okay, so size of an array पता करने के लिए see int a 5 elements, int a of 5 elements, so each cell is of 4 bytes. All right, so definitely if there are 5 cells, so 5 into 4 20 bytes. Cool. That is it about size. तो size का भी चक्कर हमारा खत्म हो गया. Then if you want to know how many elements are there, like what is the number of elements in an array, pretty good function that we can make use of is that we can use the size of function. All right, so how many elements are there? If we divide the size of the array by the size of the data type that we are using, then we can get the number of elements. This is a pretty good way of doing it. Now if we want, we can do it. Let us see if it actually runs or not. See how many elements are there, right? N equals to 5, find a of n, or rather I can say that int a equals to 1 2 3 4 5. All right, I need to find out what is the size of this array. So what I can do is size of array divided by size of int, of course, because int is the data type that I am using. And then what I should do is see out n. So how many elements should be there? There are 5 elements. As you can see, my output is 5. So this is a very successful way of finding out how many elements are there inside an array. We can use this formula. All right, so this is basically the very simple basics that we can understand, that we have to understand regarding arrays, so that we can proceed forward. So what did we understand so far? Arrays होते क्या हैं? What are arrays? How are they declared? how do we initialize them, how do we accept values inside the arrays, how do we calculate the number of elements inside the array, how do we know the size of the array, like how much size is it accumulating, then what is the garbage value that it is stored inside the array initially, what kind of value is stored, how do we remove that garbage value and assign it with something else, that is also something that we understood. And yeah, one more thing that I wanted all of you to know is that how will you access the array, how will you access the elements inside the array. So elements inside the array are accessed in a very similar fashion, which is of course, सी अगर ये मेरा array है, ठीक है, if this is my array, so array of 0 1 2, array of 2 means 3, array of 3 means 9, array of 4 means 7. So as I told you, while accessing the index, I will access from 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so this is how you access the elements. For example, in the example that we have taken, if I take that cout array of 4 endl, or other cout endl array of 3 endl, so that it goes to the next line. तो we are getting as output 4. इसको मैं comment ही कर देता हूँ so that you don't get confused. So cout array of 3 gives me the output 4, because here we can see that in the array 0 1 2 3, the third element is 4. Now you will be telling where third element तो 3 है, 4 कैसे बोल रहे हो, because index हम हमेशा 0 से count करना शुरू करते हैं. When we are talking about length of the array or the total number of elements inside the array, we do it index, total index plus 1, या फिर last index plus 1. Alright, so this was the introductory session about array. I hope that you understood it pretty well, and there are some things that I would like to discuss apart from array, and that those are regarding the comparative programming thing. First of all, हम header files की बात करते हैं थोड़ी, है ना, header file से कुछ discussion करते हैं. All right, so header files में we have hash include, iostream, vector, string, unordered में बहुत सारे हैं ऐसे, ठीक है. There are a lot of header files in C++ ST. Alright, now the thing is that you can either use them individually inside each program, or there is hash include stdc++.h. Now what happens is that instead of remembering all these things individually, people tend to refer to this, because एक लाइन आप लिखोगे उसके अंदर में ये सारे चीजें इंक्लूड हो जाएंगी. What you do is that you write this piece of single line in the top of each program, each C++ program, and all these header files are included inside of it. Alright, now they think that this is actually a very smart way of not having to remember so many things, and actually remembering only a small portion of things, so that I can write the entire program and not remember all these things individually. Alright, now the thing is that these header files include a lot of unnecessary header files as well. Okay, now we actually do not need so many header files, neither in comparative programming nor in the real programming world. मतलब इतने सारे प्रोग्रामिंग हमें चाहिए भी नहीं, ठीक है. हेडर फाइल्स इतने हमें चाहिए भी नहीं, हेडर फाइल्स जिनका हम इसके अंदर ले लेते हैं bits/stdc++.h के अंदर में, ठीक है. तो अगर हम इसको सिंपल भाषा में समझें, if we say this is bits stdc++.h, it includes nearly maybe, for example, let us say n number of header files. Now maybe out of these n number of header files, I need personally only 25 to 30 header files for my entire programming lifetime. For my entire programming lifetime. Out of these 100 header files, for example, there are 100 header files, I need only 35 header files out of this in my entire programming lifetime. Alright, now what happens is that I don't need the remaining 65 number of header files, right? So since I don't need that 65 header files, what happens is when I write this thing inside my program, those 65 header files are also getting included. And unnecessarily, what those 65 header files are doing is that they are reducing the speed of my program and reducing the efficiency of my code. Understood? मेरा ही काम वो खराब कर रहे हैं. तो इसीलिए it is much better if you individually understand the usage of these header files stl c++ library ke, and use them accordingly in each program rather than using bits/stdc++.h. That is one of the principal reasons I don't use it, and I use hash include stream and all the remaining header files according to the program and the necessity of the question. Understood? That is also something which I wanted to discuss it with you. Now, yeah, if you are going for competitive programming in your second, third, fourth, or even in the second semester as it is, you will definitely understand what I'm trying to talk about here, because speed and the time in which the execution of the program happens is one of the most principal factors of your success, of your being successful, of your judgment whenever it happens in case of competitive programming. So you will understand it, if not now then later, of course. So this is one of the things that you should always keep in mind, and I wanted to discuss it with you. So that is it, I guess, for today's video. In the next video, we will be discussing about two problems which I tried to combine. A pretty simple problem on array, and there is only one minute difference which kind of creates two different questions but having the same code. Okay, so it will also give you a new, entirely new concept regarding array. So don't miss that video. And if there is anything which I did not make clear, or if I failed to make you understand, please do mention it in the comment section below. I will try to make it as much clear as possible. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like my description, if you did like my sense of explanation, please do share it with your friends. Do like it and do subscribe the video so that you don't miss out the future DSA videos. We are going to discuss some really important contest questions, interview questions, and some really cool questions and algorithms. And yeah, that is it for today's video. Bye bye, and don't stop coding.